outside my friend's store, just thinking I've been over a year in the Philippines now, and I'm in a place called Seaside, and it's got a lot of traffic because down at the bottom there is a flour mill. So I was just reflecting on what I've done over the last 12 months. Well, since coming to the Philippines, I arrived in November. I think it was November the 24th or the 25th, and that's when the flight left Heathrow. And that was when it was like, that was 2021, and that was when it was like the peak of the pandemic, should I say, or just, you know, with all the restrictions going on. It was a bit of a nerve-wracking time, making sure I had all the right paperwork and everything, but coming into the Philippines wasn't a problem. It was just going through the check-in at Heathrow Airport was the problem, because there was an Indian guy that didn't have much of a clue what the requirements were, and every paper I gave him, he kept taking it back to someone else to check. In the end, he said okay, so that was quite a relief. But anyway, I came over, I landed in the Philippines, absolutely no problems whatsoever. And then I went to change some money up. Well, first of all, I got a SIM card at the hotel, at the airport. On the way to the hotel that was pre-booked, I changed some money. Whether it was a good place or not, I'm not sure, but it was a friend of the driver's, so it most probably wasn't. Then I ended up in the hotel for 10 days. Now, the hotel was a bit of an experience. You know the old saying, you get what you paid for, and obviously I got what I paid for, and the meals was absolutely diabolical. It was just like a cardboard box for every meal, hung in a bag, hanging outside the door. There was no fruit or anything. When I did ask for fruit, I think I got one banana the following day, and it stopped. But it was just like a fish head and rice. That's all I had. There was no vegetables or anything else, and that lasted for about 10 days. And it, you know, I didn't want to pay for an expensive room, because I thought, well, if you're not allowed out, what is the point of paying for an expensive room when you're just confined to four walls all the time? It was okay, nothing spectacular. They were quite helpful. I had trouble with the first room plumbing, and then they changed the room for me. But then that was about it. And then during the 10 days, I had a check. 2 nurses came to the door and gave me a check. And then the next day, I had an email saying, yes, you're all clear. And probably that was the highlight of that period. The highlight was obviously going down to the reception and showing them my certificate that I'm all clear and I'm allowed out. So I think I stayed there for 1 or 2 nights, I think, whilst I arranged for my flight to Cebu or Mactan, whatever you want to call it. I arrived in Mactan on December the 3rd, and then I went straight to my online arranged rental in Sohong, which I was not overly enthusiastic about when I saw it. On the photos it looked big, and I've got a truck coming past me now going down to the mill. Where I'm sitting now is in what they call like the squatters area. There's about 400 houses here, all on top of each other and all different shapes and sizes and attached to each other, and as you can see on the floor, there's water pipes everywhere. But it's a very friendly neighbourhood. I sort of know quite a lot of people, but it's so much traffic goes up and down this road, and you've got kids running out on the street everywhere, and it can be quite dangerous. You've got motorbikes as well, and none of them really slow down. They just, still go quite fast. One day I'm expecting actually for the mill to take over this area and probably knock the first row of houses down to make it wider, because the road is not wide enough for two trucks to pass either side, so one has to stop while the other one goes past. And sometimes, because there is a chapel next door, when there is a funeral, this area gets quite crowded with because they have like a fast, a wake for about 9 or 10 days. So it gets quite busy, and then you've got trucks going up and down still. Anyway, like I was saying, I wasn't impressed with the house at Song, and this is the area that I'm in now is Pajo, and that was the area that I was really wanting to be in. But at the time going online, there was absolutely nothing available. And like I said in an earlier video, the owner of the house at Song said that Pajo was only 5 minutes away, which was a load of rubbish, because, as I've said before, sometimes in the evening between 5 or 8, it can take over 1 hour to get to Pajo. Anyway, I stuck it out for about 2.5 months. The house was, everywhere I went there was cockroaches in the shelves. It's supposed to have had a microwave when I moved in, and I complained about it, and then the man fetched it, although he said to the owner that the microwave was already in there when I got in there, because the owners, I think, were in Trinidad. I think they work overseas, and obviously they buy these houses on a buy to rent or loan to own scheme that they have here, which is cheaper than a mortgage, but you can pay it. That's what basically it is. You get a loan to buy the house. But in the end, I wasn't happy there. It was too much travelling, and it was dark walking down to the house, and then I was only there a week before the typhoon came, and it ripped part of the roof off, and I had water leaking everywhere. I had to walk across the fields with the local men to pump water, and I was a bit wary of snakes in the grass and everything. So, but the locals were very friendly. They allowed me to go up first, and they helped me. But it was no fun. It's not what I really expected when I first come to the Philippines, to be trumping across fields, pumping water and getting water by a pump. That went out hundreds of years ago. But anyway, that's what it was. In the end, the owner came and done repairs, but it still wasn't right. The noise from the roof was keeping me awake all night. I'll just swing round a bit, show you what some of the other places are up there. I don't want to get too involved with people walking by. There's a hotel at the top of the road there, but it's still a lot of activity during the night. It's only 10 to 9 in the evening, and people are still walking around, and children are playing, which I can't get used to. Normally in England, children are in bed by now, depending on their age. But anyway, yeah, so in the end we found a house just up the top of the road from here. I paid for it cash, so I don't pay any rent no more. I had it renovated. Oh, there's another truck, there's another one. So this this occurs all day and all night. Trucks going up and down, taking wheat and grain to the flour mill. Anyway, I bought the house, had it renovated, which took about 8 months. Very happy here in Pajo. It's near the market, it's the metro's across the road, everything is available. City Hall, I managed to get my driving license here, and I managed to buy a sort of cheap little car for just 260,000 pesos, which I will use for a while until I get used to the roads, because the roads here are absolutely terrible. Not so much the roads, it's the driving. They've got no idea of lane discipline or indicators or anything like that. It's just a matter of just edging out until you can turn, basically. For example, today I was turning left off a major road onto a side road, and the motorbikes were that were in the side road were on my lane because they were turning. So it's a bit awkward, you know. There's no such thing as indicators or lane discipline here. It's just whoever gets there first and who can ever get out first. Anyway, this is just a very short video, and the renovation finished in November, and then we had the house blessing in December, on December 29th. And now it's 3 months into 2023, and everything's okay. I came to the Philippines for an easy life, but I seem to be working just as hard. I managed to get a canvas made for my paintings, so tomorrow I may go to SM Mall for some acrylics. I've got some oils, but the canvas is far too big. It's for a large wall that I need to cover. It's a 6 foot by 3 foot canvas, so if I use that on oils, every tube I've got will probably get used up. So I'll probably use the acrylic and some varnish that I have. So anyway, that's about it. This is my friend's store. Locking up now. I just come down to make sure that, because it's getting dark and everything, so I just make sure that everything's okay. Another truck. How many trucks is that within the last 5 minutes? About three or four. And there's so much dust as well. That's one of the problems. So the ones that live on the front here get it quite bad. But this is the let me just walk around. This is the chapel next door. Gets pretty crowded when there's a wake and people sit outside here. And this is like an alley to the squatters area. That is a water dispenser. You put a peso in and gets the hot and cold water. So it's quite handy. Anyway, I'll keep this to under 15 minutes, so you're not going to be bored. But yeah, my first year in the Philippines has been pretty busy. I've spent a bit of money, but the thing is, I don't pay rent anymore, and that's my biggest issue here, paying rent. I've never paid rent before. So anyway, have a nice evening, and hopefully if I go to SM Mall tomorrow, I will make another video of the trip. Alright, see you later. Bye bye.